Welcome everybody to the Short Sports Show. I am your host, Daniel Short. Today is Saturday, June 6th, 2015, and we have done it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at 100 episodes of the Short Sports Show. Absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for the support. We all started back all the way back 2013 and in Seattle, Washington, where it all started. It is awesome to see this whole show grow and to where it is now. It's growing every single day, and I appreciate you guys. Be sure to tweet out the show if you're listening. Obviously, tweet out the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything possible that you guys can get your hands on. Be sure to use the hashtag The Short Sports Show. Also tag me in it so I can retweet it for you guys. And let's go ahead and cut the music there. Just a little taste of what to come. First, jam-packed show. Obviously, we're going to be recapping Game 1 of the NBA Finals, as well as talking about some college football news and the NFL. And another, what is in San Francisco? I mean, another 49ers player retiring this offseason. It's mind-boggling. It truly is. So let's get straight on into it. Georgia has now, this is college football news, has former Virginia quarterback Grayson Lambert. He is now transferred to Georgia, but they've lost an offensive lineman. The Bulldogs announced Friday that redshirt sophomore offensive lineman Josh Cardillo is leaving in search of more playing time at FCS Chattanooga. The former three-star prospect redshirted in 2013 and saw action in only one game in 2014, so it makes sense that he's leaving, but losing offensive lineman, losing depth there, anything can happen, playing in the trenches. So not the best, but at least he's getting more playing time for his sake. Also, Illinois and Duke scheduled a home-and-home series for 2025 and 2026. The Illini will head over to Mike Wallace, to Wallace Wade Stadium first on September 6th, 2025, and then the Blue Devils will go over to Illinois to play September 12th, 2026. The two schools that met previously, met twice. Duke has won the initial meeting in 1958 with a 15-13 win, and then the Illini struck right back in 1965 with a 28-14 victory. I am too excited right now to talk. Unbelievable. I guess that would be an interesting matchup, but it's good that you plan for the future. I've talked about this in my show about having these schedules and stuff, home-and-home things. But, I mean, honestly, do we really need to wait 2025? Like, why not make it just a little bit closer? I mean, you can't tell me your schedules from now till 2025 are completely filled that you can't move it a little bit closer for either school. I mean, they're not the hottest commodity in Illinois and Duke, so I would think that they could put it a little bit closer. But whatever, college football these days. Texas A&M has moved running back Brandon Williams to cornerback now. Now, remember, Texas A&M doesn't really need help at running back, not with Trey Carson and Trey Williams returning. But the A&M defense has been a little bit of an issue the past few years since entering the SEC. Last year, they ranked 66 or lower nationally in passing efficiency and defense, yards per attempt allowed, and also passing defense in 2014. A&M has lost leading tacklers Howard Matthews and Xavier Everett with graduating, so they're needing a few more guys for depth and bringing them in. Head coach Kevin Sumlin discussed the change with the Houston Chronicle, saying, quote, "He can always come back and play running back. We know that. Let's see what he can do. I'm excited about it. If he can help us on defense, it helps him with his career. It's a great move for both of us." Williams ranked third on the team last year with 379 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on 87 carries last season. So, obviously, was going to get some solid playing time, but it's better for him now to move around, see what it can do. I mean, TCU does that a lot. They get some players that recruited for offense or recruited for defense, and they'll switch them right over. Next thing you know, you got a NFL draft pick. So this could be a good move for Brandon Williams. But check this out. So a few weeks back, we talked about just the dumbest move by Syracuse, and that was to unretire number 44. They did that. Well, finally, Jim Brown was on the Rich Eisen show, and he was asked about Syracuse plans to unretire the number that he once wore in college football. And this is what he had to say, and I love every piece of this of what he had to say. Saying, quote, "I didn't exactly give my blessing. I just didn't complain." Brown went on to say that he was not approached by Syracuse before the decision was made by the university, and it made it seem as though he simply is not going to stand in the way of the plans moving forward. Then he also said, quote, "When I did get the call from an executive up there, I didn't fuss about it, and I told them whatever they wanted to do was okay with me." But he had a little bit more to say about someone else wearing number 44 at Syracuse. He said, "To unretire something, there has to be a commercial aspect to it. So if it's going to help the team commercial or help a scholarship fund or something like that, then that's good. But for me, to endorse something that takes away something from you, that doesn't make sense. Unless I did something to deserve it, it seems like a punishment to me. I did not take it that way, but it could have been a positive thing unless someone explained to all of us could see the positive aspect of it." So I like it. I think it was stupid for Syracuse to unretire it. They should have just kept it. Great. The three great running backs that have worn it: Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, and Floyd Little. That should have been it. I know there's someone else that wore it, and he never did anything with his football career. So that should have been like, all right, that's done. I mean, just after Floyd Little, you should have thought, okay, if we've had three great running backs that have worn this number and gone on to do something. Sadly, Ernie Davis, died because of health issues. But we all know he would have done something great, just like Floyd Little and Jim Brown did. So after that, they should have been like, all right, we're done retiring that number. It is good. This is a legacy right here, and it's just something that no other university has, and no one can take away from us. It should have just ended at that. And especially now to unretire it when, especially the last guy that wore it, they didn't do anything. So why bring it back? He kind of messed it up a little bit. So just keep it where it is, retired, and just recognize that number. If you want to put it on the back of your helmet, number 44 or something, that's great so that everybody can be a part of that tradition, that legacy that Syracuse holds. But to unretire it and give it to someone, one, you put all that pressure on that student athlete, no matter what position they play, and I would think it'd be running back again. But it puts all that pressure, and if they don't fulfill anywhere close to it, then everybody's going to turn on that person and think, "Oh man, what a disgrace! You should have never tried to wear it," or this and that. A whole lot of problems come up to it. So Syracuse, do the right thing, and just retire it, keep it retired, and just proudly have that tradition of the legacy it held. But that's my little rant on it. UAB athletic director says 2017 is a more ideal target for the football revival. He said, quote, "It's more ideal if we tried to do it in 2017. So we didn't do it so rushed. Let's do it right rather than fast, so that way we can all keep things at the forefront, the safety of our players, and the respect of our peers. But if we found through various channels that playing in 2016 was our only option, then that's what we'll do." And it's really smart for them to try to just wait until 2017. Obviously, there's the whole problem of, you never had to cancel it if you knew it was going to be coming back. But the University of Alabama in Birmingham could apply for a waiver to sign a recruiting class that exceeds the NCAA limit of 25 scholarships per year. Another option would be to bring 25 junior college transfers as early enrollees, followed by immediately by a regular signing class. Applying for extra years of eligibility for players remaining on campus is also another option the school should pursue or think about pursuing. Ingram, who is the athletic director, knows that it could cause some tension in UAB's Conference USA rivals, but it is a short-term issue that would have to be dealt with one way or another. And this is what he said about possibly getting, exceeding the NCAA limit of 25 scholarships per year or signing other people. He said this: if we try to sign 50 players in the upcoming signing class, that's going to give a heartburn to our peers in the league. Whether it should or it shouldn't, the reality is it does, and we respect that. They've been very generous to us and supportive of us, of wanting us to stay in the league. So we want to do all of this respectfully to them as well. Makes sense. But at the same time, I mean, you now have 2 years to get that football program up and running, with everything set up and getting some right players, because obviously your whole problem was you were bad at football. I mean, there's no other way to put it. This is the reason you had to kill the whole football program, was because you were spending more money than you were making because you weren't bringing anything in, wins and, TV stuff. I mean, they're not going to just put UAB on ESPN or ESPN2 just because they feel like. I mean, they got to prove something. I mean, not just on it you're on it for a reason. So I kind of like the option of, trying to get a couple of junior college guys in there, having some kind of waiver so they can play a little bit longer and build up that hype that UAB needs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming years. But I don't know, 2016, that would happen. That would have to happen. A lot of things would have to happen for them to play in 2016. The American Athletic Conference will increase its membership to 12 football playing members this fall with the addition of Navy. With 12 teams, the conference is also start a conference championship game. That is, usually when you have 10 or more teams, you really should have a college, a conference championship. But one league doesn't like to do that, which is just stupid. Big 12. Anyways, so they need one. So the American Athletic Conference Championship will be played over the championship weekend on December 5th. The game will be played at the site of the division champion with the best record. It will kick off at noon, either on ESPN or on ABC. And yesterday, the conference unveiled its official logo for the new conference championship game on its Instagram page. And honestly, it looks pretty. It looks nice. It looks nice. If you haven't looked it up, I'm sure you can look it up somewhere else other than the Instagram page. You could look it up on their website. But it is nice. It is a very clean logo for them. Boston College and Georgia Tech will open the 2016 season. Check this out, in Ireland. The two ACC schools will play, and bear with me here, Aer Lingus College Football Classic in Avia Stadium. I hope I pronounced all that right. On September 3rd, 2016, ESPN2 will air the game live starting at 7:30 a.m. You guys ready? That is, I'm pretty sure that's Eastern time. 7:30 Eastern time, Pacific 5:30. Be ready. Be up. I mean, I'm usually up around that time. Well, 6:30, somewhere around 6 or 7. Usually up around that time, anyways. I'll be watching that game because sometimes the college football, especially, I don't know how the show's going to be this year. College Game Day, they took out Chris Fowler. That was just so disrespectful. I don't know how it's going to be, and if it's, sometimes they can get, kind of repetitive of what they talk about and too many commercials. So why not just watch a game, especially Boston College, Georgia Tech? That'd be interesting. That'd be a solid game to watch come 2016. So it'll be good. Boston College will serve as a home team in the ACC contest. Boston College was scheduled by the ACC to host Georgia Tech in 2016 season, and Georgia Tech had to push back a previously scheduled game against Mercer to the following week to make room for the season opener in Ireland. Some news coming out of UCLA, and it's not the best news because Brent Huntley is gone. So head coach Jim Mora is looking for a new starting quarterback, and he lost a quarterback. Asante Woolard announced Wednesday via Twitter he will be transferring from the UCLA program. Now with Woolard heading out, the remaining options for UCLA to succeed Brent Hundley is including Jared Neuheisel, which will most likely get the starting job since, when Hundley got hurt against Texas, he came in and played, and he did a good job closing out that game. Mike Fufal, and if that wasn't right, I look like Fufal. It has to be. And Josh Rosen. If Woolard transfers to another FBS program, he will have to sit out the 2015 season before being eligible once again in 2016. But I thought I heard or read that Asante Warlord was supposed to be, competing for. Obviously, they're all competing for the starting job, but him and Neuheisel, I thought I saw that they were, 1-2. Either it was one of them that were going to get that starting job. So for him to just bail out, now I could be completely wrong about that. I'm just trying to jog my memory here to see if I remember hearing that or seeing that. But if that is correct, I have no idea why you would want to transfer away from UCLA if you have the chance to possibly be the starting quarterback. And if Jared Neuheisel, he's got to be either a junior or senior. So I don't know. You better go to some other good school, because to leave UCLA's program, not a lot of people could get in. Trust me, I've been looking to see if I could get in. Not happening. Mainly because that's another reason. They're asking for like 60 credit hours. I'm barely at like 24, so I gotta look other. But anyways, UCLA is a great program. I have no idea why you would want to transfer away from there, especially if you are close to being the starting quarterback for UCLA. That's a dream opportunity right here. Former Oregon wide receiver Chance Allen will not have to sit out and wait a season before playing football with his new teammates at the University of Houston. The NCAA has ruled he will be eligible to play right away this fall after approving a hardship waiver. Chance Allen is a native of Missouri City, Texas, and opted to move closer to home to help take care of his mother. Allen played in 5 games for Oregon in 2015, but did not record not one stat for the Ducks. But in 2013, he caught 5 passes for 98 yards. And then Allen also sat out one of his 3 years at Oregon with a red shirt, thus leaving him with 2 years of eligibility remaining at the University of Houston, which will be obviously the 2015 season and 2016, which is awesome news for him, because right now what Todd Herman's doing at Houston, everybody needs to watch out. Houston is they're building something over there. They got that brand new stadium. Not a lot of people remember hearing about that because it opened, I think, a few days or a week before Baylor opened up its toilet bowl of a stadium. And so not a lot of people heard about Houston State, what the Cougars were doing. It's a nice stadium. Todd Herman is doing great things out there. Obviously, we've all been hearing about the recruiting, getting a 5-star defensive tackle and then a 4-star defensive tackle, and other players from all different top, recruiting sites. They are all having Houston in their top 8, their top 10 list. You'll be seeing them on Twitter, saying who, and they'll say like in no order, but you'll see Houston's name in there now. Last year before, we never would have saw that, but now what Todd Herman's doing, it's interesting, and I think they need to start a case. I'm just keep one more hope alive, one dream alive, and try to get Braxton Miller to go to Houston. I know it's a shot in the dark. It's very late for him to transfer anyways, but never say never. Todd Herman was at Ohio State offensive coordinator. He obviously worked with Braxton Miller. Greg Ward is doing, pretty solid, but he's only about like 5'10", 5'9" quarterback. He was really a receiver. I hope he proves me wrong. Greg Ward looks like he could lead that team and bring back the air raid offense Houston used to have. But Braxton Miller, that's a pro quarterback right there if he's healthy. Being at Houston could start something big over there. Can start something huge over at the University of Houston. But we'll just have to see. Just Miller to H-Town. Hashtag it. Let's get it viral. And also Big 12. Look at Houston. Might need to add them. I know there's a ton of there's a lot. We got it's just Baylor, Texas, or Texas Tech, and TCU. Okay. All right. Well, just add Houston in the Big 12. Let's get it in there. I mean, come on now. Let's move on to the NFL. And this was the most shocking news up to date that we've heard. Right now, we've had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 players under the age of 30 in the NFL that have retired this offseason alone. Now we have number 5. The four other players were linebacker Chris Borland, quarterback Jake Locker, linebacker Jason Warleeds, running back Maurice Jones-Drew, and now offensive tackle Anthony Davis. Right tackle Anthony Davis announced his retirement Friday, becoming the 4th member of the San Francisco 49ers to step away from the game this offseason alone. Just think of that. 4 players. Not under the age of 30, but Justin Smith being 35. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. What is happening in San Francisco? What is happening with the 49ers? So Anthony Davis joins linebackers Patrick Willis, who was 30, Chris Borland, who was 24, and defensive lineman Justin Smith at 35 in retirement. And this is what Anthony Davis said in his release. After a few years of thought, I've decided it will be best for me to take a year or so away from the NFL. This will be a time for me to allow my brain and body a chance to heal. I know many won't understand my decision. That's okay. I hope you too have the courage to live your life how you planned it when you were daydreaming to yourself growing up. Your life is your dream, and you have the power to control that dream. I'm simply doing what's best for my body as well as my mental health at this time in my life, which I completely respect his decision. Don't get me wrong. All these other players, I respect their decision to step away from the game. I mean, a lot of them have already accomplished. I mean, Maurice Jones-Drew, he's a Jaguars Hall of Fame member, and I don't know if he's a Hall of Fame member in the NFL, but he's definitely one of the great running backs that have played this game in recent years. Jason Warleeds, pretty great line, or not great, but pretty good linebacker. Jake Locker never lived up to the potential, but could be a coach or whatever he's going to end up doing. Chris Borland, we only saw him for 1 year, but he looked good that year. Anthony Davis as well. I completely respect the decisions. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying it's stupid for them to retire. I'm not. But it's just, it's shocking to see some of these guys retire. That's all. That's all. I understand their decision. I respect it, but it's just out there. I guess it's just because of the fact of how many players have already retired this offseason. That's all. Anthony Davis was the number 11th overall pick in the 2010 draft out of Rutgers, and he hadn't been attending any of the Niners' voluntary OTAs after an injury-racked 2014 season. He began his NFL career starting his first 64 games, but a shoulder, hamstring, knee, and ankle injuries, as well as a concussion, limited him to 7 games last season. And in Week 11 against the New York Giants, Davis said he took a, quote, spinning elbow to the head late in the game and was concussed. More than 2 weeks later, he said he was still feeling the effects, and, quote, it's scary when your brain's not working the way it's supposed to. And he was describing it as a white fog he had to fight through. The San Francisco 49ers organization said this. 49ers organization thanks Anthony for his contributions, oh my goodness, to our team over the last 5 seasons and wishes him the best as he moves on from the game. 49ers general manager said. Also, head coach Jim Tomsula said he communicated with Davis via text before Friday's OTAs practice, saying, quote, Anthony's been working on himself right now. That's what he's been doing. Look, Anthony wants to step away. He wants to get his mind and body right, and that's where he wants to go, and he has every right to do that. He also said he would not categorize the loss of Davis as a, quote, huge blow. I would not categorize it that way. We've got some great guys. We got some great guys doing some really good things right now, and that we're excited about moving into training camp. But no, we're really excited about the guys that are here. That's what we've been saying all along. The focus is on the guys that are here and the guys that are doing what they are doing. I hate when players and coaches repeat a lot of the same things all in that one quote. It's just ridiculous. But I didn't want to cut anything out. Again, much respect to Anthony Davis. It takes a lot to just be turn down that amount of money to take a year off, because he's also giving back, I believe, his signing bonus or whatever he was scheduled to make this year. He's giving that back to the 49ers. That takes a lot. It truly does. So best of luck to Anthony Davis. Hopefully he's back next year and completely 100% healthy and ready to go, because even though the coaches and organization could say, hey, we'll be okay, we're worried about the players we have now, they would definitely like to have him on the team this season. So best of luck to him, and hopefully he gets healthy all over and he's ready to work come next season. Miami Dolphins first-round draft pick Devontae Parker had successful foot surgery on Friday, and his plan for the wide receiver is to be ready by week 1 of the regular season, though many reports are saying count him out. Parker had foot issues in college and missed 7 games last year at Louisville. Parker's surgery was to replace a screw in his foot, according to NFL.com. The surgery is viewed as a long-term fix, but in short-term, Parker will likely begin the regular season as a backup anyways. He was competing with veteran wide receivers in Greg Jennings, Kenny Stills. You also have a young star in the making, Jarvis Landry. But he'll just have to find his niche when he comes back. But the problem is he may miss a portion or all of training camp. That's huge. That's huge. Yes, he's been in OTAs and rookie minicamp, but training camp, that's when it all goes down. Thankfully, he'll have time to study in the playbook and really just look at his routes and the quarterback. But, it's also losing some time with Ryan Tannehill to get a groove in things, head into the preseason and also week 1. So we'll just have to see. And the Dolphins are also hurt because kicker Caleb Sturgis, last year's, of course, leading scorer. I hate when I put that. I mean, he's a kicker. I mean, he's on there just after the touchdowns to get the extra point, or he's going to kick 4 points. I mean, of course, there's a leading scorer. Anyways, recently injured his quad, it doesn't say right quad, in a team-sponsored kickball game and is expected to miss at least 4 weeks. I mean, it's, when I was told in high school, when especially during the season or right before the season, do not go and play, basketball, tackle football, really just go 70% on other sports, because you got to keep yourself healthy for that main sport that you're about to play or you're playing. You would think a kicker, especially this is team sponsored, they would think, okay, if this kicker, we probably shouldn't put him in, because one, he's probably going to knock the ball out anyways and get a home run, so he's just automatic score. That's no fun. But playing kickball, I mean, anything can happen, and obviously something did happen. He injured his quad. Now he's going to miss about a month because he played a kickball game, team sponsored too. Not good. He should have just been there, appearance, that's all. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars draft class took another hit Friday when 4th-round draft pick James Sample, who is a safety, underwent surgery for a broken right arm. He is expected to return at some point in training camp, the team announced. The former Louisville standout suffered the injury late in Thursday's OTAs. Sample is the second Jaguars draft pick to suffer a major injury. As we all know, defensive end Dante Fowler Jr., the number 3 overall pick, tore his ACL less than an hour into the first day of 2-day minicamp last month, and he will, of course, miss the entire season. The 6'2", 191-pound James Sample led Louisville with 90 tackles last season, adding 4 interceptions with 8 pass breakups. What's up with Louisville products? I mean, what's going on, guys? Not Louisville, the company, but Louisville Cardinals University. What is going on over there? We got Devontae Parker, Louisville. He's hurt. James Sample, Louisville. He's hurt. Not looking too good right now. I know it has nothing to do with it, but I just thought I'd point it out. New York Jets defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson, who skipped voluntary portion of the offseason in midst of a contract dispute, is now poised to return to the team for its mandatory minicamp next week. Actually, I should say this upcoming week. Wilkerson, addressing his contract situation for the first time since December, said Friday night that he will make his decision over the weekend on whether to attend minicamp, and apparently there are strong indications he will be there. It's a business, quote, this is what Wilkerson had to say on a long-term contract extension, quote, "It's a business. I guess it takes a long time. This is new to me, but hopefully something will get done soon. I just thought you work hard on the field, you do what you have to do on and off the field, and that's how you're supposed to get rewarded." we'll just have to see. The Jets say they want to lock up Wilkerson, but the two sides have talked only just a tiny bit, and it's really been a huge gap in when they talk. Wilkerson, entering the final year of his contract, is due to make $6.7 million, the amount of his fifth-year option. Wilkerson has also been working out with personal trainers in Atlanta and Maryland. He has kept in touch with his teammates, going over plays and defensive schemes with them. The Jets are installing, of course, a new system under head coach Todd Bowles. Jets, I mean, this is the guy. I mean, I know you drafted Leonard Williams. He's going to be on the opposite side of Muhammad Wilkerson, but I mean, come on. I mean, you got to get him in there. I mean, this is a time for Leonard Williams to learn from Wilkerson, and also for them to get some chemistry going, so you can have a dominant defensive line, because you will. And Muhammad Wilkerson, I mean, I'll have to go look to see what the Jets have in salary cap money, but this should be your main priority right now. He's the star and leader of this defense. I know Darrelle Revis is back, but obviously he kind of left. You can't really call him a leader and the face of your defense when this is the guy that left you for your rival, or actually, well, he left Tampa Bay first and then went to Patriots. But he could have also worked something out. He wanted money more than being with the Jets, so I wouldn't necessarily say he's a leader, face of the defense, and loyal, because he's going where the money's at. That's it. So just saying, little rant. The inaugural National Fantasy Football Convention in Las Vegas, hosted by Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo, has been canceled because of the NFL's concerns with its connection to a casino property. The 3-day event in July from July 10th through 12th originally was scheduled to be hosted by the Venetian, hope I said that right, Resort Hotel Casino in Las Vegas, but an NFL spokesman confirmed via email a Fox Sports report about the league's long-standing policy that it brought to the attention of the NFL Players Association, writing, quote, "Players and NFL personnel may not participate in promotional activities or any other appearances in connection with events that are held at or sponsored by casinos." According to a source, players could have been subject to a fine or a suspension if they had participated. A spokesman for the NFLPA said it would withhold comment until it had more information. All of the sessions were to be held at the Sands Expo and Convention Center, which does not have on-site gambling, and more than 100 players were expected to participate in the event, which would have allowed fantasy football players to connect with NFL stars in question and answer sessions and other activities such as Rob Gronkowski, Des Bryant, Julio Jones, Jason Witten, DeMarco Murray, and Antonio Brown were among the players billed to be in attendance. And check this out. So Tony Romo tweeted out later that he was sad for the fans and the players. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if that was true, that he was sad just because of that. A source close to the event told ESPN's Darren Rovio that the players were due more than a combined $1 million in marketing or appearance fees. I think he was more sad because he wasn't going to get a little bit of extra cash. The NFFC said it will host the event next year in Los Angeles. For those who have registered for the 2015 event, the NFFC will offer refunds or a benefit package to the 2016 convention. So, they're kind of, I don't know. It's not their fault, but again, they should have paid it, or someone should have been out there to tell them the rules about this and said, hey, this is at a casino. I don't think any of us are allowed to go around there for an event because we can get in some trouble. So that didn't come up. Let's see. I'm trying to pull something up on Twitter. There we go. Last news before we talk about some NBA playoffs and head on over to our Q&A session I told you guys about. The St. Louis Rams wide receiver Kenny Britt says receivers love Nick Foles, saying, quote, "We love him. Great deep ball. He puts it on the money every time. He can throw every pass in the book." Head coach Jeff Fisher added that Foles is already picking up the offense and making things making things tough for the Rams defense during the team's portion of OTAs. Saying, quote, he's got his hands full because we've got a great defensive team speed, and they're doing a lot of things over there right now. We've just really been pleased. And I think Kenny Britt says they love Nick Foles is because they finally have a quarterback that should an NFL quarterback. Now, nothing taken away from Sam Bradford, but obviously he could not stay healthy at all. And all the other backups, they went through so many backup quarterbacks that, maybe in the future they develop a little bit better and, they could provide, improve themselves as an NFL starting quarterback. But at this time, Nick Foles is obviously above every single one of them, even above Sam Bradford. I mean, he truly is. So I love it. I love that Nick Foles is there. And hopefully the Rams, get back to not to the promised land. I don't want them making the Super Bowl just yet, but getting somewhere that back to competitive, over 500, something like that, other than being like a top 15 draft pick over and over again. The NBA Finals, what a game Thursday night. Game 1, Warriors took it in overtime, 108 to 100 over the Cavaliers, and now it went from looking to, this could be really bad. Now, I'm not trying to take it back or anything, but I did say last week this series will not go 4 games, done sweep. A little bit of news happened. Kyrie Irving is out for the entire finals. Not only are the Cavaliers out for Kevin Love, they have been for a while. Now they are out with Kyrie Irving. He is out for the entire NBA Finals. So now all pressure is back on LeBron James. It's kind of weird because look at how all this has happened. When he was with the Cavaliers, it was just him. Now, he had some supporting cast. He had Shaquille O'Neal and a couple other players, that were. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, obviously Hall of Famer, great, but was going down. He's getting older, not back in his prime, like he was. So now, it's just a repeat. It's just a repeat. I mean, you think about it. LeBron James took the Cavs to the finals by himself. And now he's back at the finals, down 0-1, against a very talented depth team in the Warriors, led by MVP Steph Curry. It's bad. It's getting bad. This has a potential to be swept. It truly, the Cavs could face that. Now, I know LeBron James, I mean, if he dropped 44 points and this team still couldn't win, what do you think they're going to do now completely out of Kyrie Irving? And that's it. I'm telling you, I said way back in my show, they should have never traded for Kevin Love. They should have kept Andrew Wiggins, and they also had somebody else who went to some sorry team. I can't remember. Was it Anthony Bennett? Am I right there? I might not be, but it was somebody else. Anyway, they should have kept them. Younger guys, future guys. Didn't happen. Now they're out of everybody. Game 2 is tomorrow, Sunday, June 7th. Cavaliers at Golden State, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. Then Game 3 is Tuesday, June 9th. Golden State at Cleveland, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC as well. I hope it goes 7 games somehow, and LeBron James puts on a show. But again, I want the Warriors to win this, and right now it looks all one-sided. We'll see this. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, we could all be completely wrong thinking that LeBron James can't carry this team. He might. This might have been what pushed him over the edge in a good way to lead the Cavaliers and say, "I'm getting it." And this could, if he wins this series. No matter if this goes 5 games and the Cavaliers win 4 straight or this goes 7, if he wins this without Kevin Love, without Kyrie Irving, think what this does to his legacy, not only with the Cavaliers, but his overall legacy. Because everybody believes he had to have a team around him to win it all. And which, again, this is a team sport, not a, there's no I team. I understand. But if he wins he would basically win this by himself, unless J.R. Smith or somebody else steps up real quick. This would be huge. This would be huge for LeBron James to prove all other doubters say, did Michael Jordan win it by himself? He always had a supporting cast. Did he win it by himself? Now, I'm just throwing out the debates. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's better than anybody else or any of them, but he could say, did Kobe win it by himself? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great series. We already knew that. Let's move over to Q&A. We only got one. I'm hurt, guys. I'm hurt. We only have one. Again, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. It doesn't matter. Any way you can find in contact with me. Use hashtag The Short Sports Show. Tag me in it. And just ask a question. Doesn't matter. And I'll be sure to retweet it, favorite, and also say it on my show every week. That's what we'll do, Q&A session. That way I can be more interactive with you guys because the way Spreaker's set up, I can't really get calls in to ask. I can't do that. But I'll be, tweet me anything, and I'll be sure to get it out there for you guys. So here we go. Before we wrap up the show, Q&A session, M. Den says, how well do you think the Chargers are going to do this upcoming year? Well, I got you, my man. As a San Diego Chargers fan, I have a little bit of experience in here. I project if we don't have any more problems, depending also what happens with the San Diego and Los Angeles thing, because last year we saw the Chargers had no home support at all. It was embarrassing, especially on those primetime games. There were more Broncos fans out there. There were more Seahawks fans out there. There were more Patriots fans. That was the most embarrassing to see at the San Diego Chargers Sunday night game against the New England Patriots. We're wearing our powder blues. Everything's looking good until you look at the stands and you would see the wrong kind of blue. The New England Patriots kind of blue. Now, I know the Patriots have a huge fan base more than the Chargers because of, recent success and also winning Super Bowls and Tom Brady. I mean, I understand that. But when you're at home and right now you are in the midst of these fans saying that the Chargers aren't doing enough to stay in San Diego, blah, blah, blah. We need them here, save our bolts. How about you show up to a game? I'm going on a rant right now. I'm going to. How about you show up to a game? Now, I understand I can't really, I guess I can't really say too much because, I'm in Texas, so I can't, and I don't have money to go fly down to San Diego and buy season tickets. But for the people that are there, that are in San Diego or neighboring cities that are huge Charger fans and that are saying they need to stay in San Diego, how about you go to a game? How about you wear your powder blue or your dark blue that we have, that I wish we go back to the darker blues that we had back in 2006. But anyways, how about you go to the game? You're complaining that you don't want them to go to Los Angeles. Well, to me, that's the best option. San Diego Chargers need to become the Los Angeles Chargers. Whether we partner with the freaking Raiders or we go down there by ourselves, I don't care. Chargers need to be the LA Chargers. So, with all that, if we don't have home support, home crowd advantage, if we end up playing a 16-game road schedule, which basically was last season, then the Chargers are going to struggle, and I could see another 8-8, 9-7 type of record. But I'm going to keep hope alive, and I'm going to say the Chargers can go at best 11-5, really probably 10-6 is where we're at, depending on how the Broncos play as well. It's going to be a tough schedule very early, going on the road to play, Green Bay and tough passing teams that our defense was kind of lacking last year. We'll have to see where our defense goes, but I'm thinking more of a 9-7, 10-6 type of record. Hopefully get in with a wild card and make a few things happen come postseason. Because, Phillip Rivers, he gets it going in November, December. Let's try to get it going in January and hopefully lead into a February game, a special game. So that is it for today's show. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it dark about San Diego Chargers and LA, and I just, it gets me going sometimes. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. As always, tweet out tweet out the show, and also, use your hashtag, The Short Sports Show. Tag me in it. Ask your questions. Anything about sports, or anything. It could be anything in general. I want to be able to interact with you guys a lot more. And also got some huge news coming soon, so be sure to follow me on Twitter at @short_sports247. Again, the link is down in the description. No matter where you're listening, just click on that link. It'll take you straight to my Twitter page, whether it's via phone, app, or on the computer. I should be able to tell you guys within 24 to 72 hours. So be looking out for that. It is huge news that I'm very excited for, but I can't say just yet. So I'm going to leave y'all with a little suspension. But suspension? What? Suspense. Whoa. Also, guys, just thank you for the support. 100 episodes of the Short Sports Show. I remember my first one, how nervous I was. I still get a little bit nervous when I do this show, but it's crazy to see where it has gone with, averaging 2 to 5 listeners to now almost 100 to 300 listeners per show. It's absolutely incredible. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys all. I do this to entertain you guys and hopefully make this one day my job, my career, and wake up every morning doing a show for you guys. That is my ultimate goal, and I appreciate it, guys. As always, God first, God bless. I'm out. Peace.